Now, I've seen the hoopla and all the lies. I've given all the statements by top members of the IPCC and government officials too to do with the global warming scam. And Ms. McClellan from Canada, who was in a few years ago, and the federal government said it doesn't matter if all the data on global warming is wrong. She says, as long as this can be used, she says, we can use this for global equality, she said. So you understand there's always a political reason, a social reason behind something which they're not telling you. Everything's a front for something else, is what I'm saying. And of course, part of the scary scenarios I read too from the guy who said we always give them scary scenarios each time the big meetings come up, like the one at Cancun. They tell you scary scenarios to terrify the life out of you so that you'll say, do something, and they want to get everybody to sign on board, that we give up all our rights to anything at all and allow ourselves to be supervised and post-consumer and all the rest of it, down to austerity, which the banks help with too because they're all in it together, and to get you to living like peasants used to live as we die off. Only they won't leave you on the land. They want you crowded into the cities and dying off there. But they also want to do this with surgery. No kidding, this is something, a comic book. Surgical anesthetic gases are coming under fire for causing global warming and having potential. Only one problem, they haven't been observed in the atmosphere at all. Doesn't matter though. The net upward atmospheric radiance spectrum, it shows you that the tropopause 22 dashed lines are Planck functions. And what shows you something here anyway. This is a press release below is from the University of Copenhagen Department of Chemistry. The anesthetic gases isoflurane, deslufluron, and sevoflurone are coming under scrutiny for global warming potential, right? However, that isn't stated in the press release. What isn't stated in the press release is this important paragraph of the scientific paper. Here's the important part. There are no production numbers available in the literature for the anesthetic agents. The three compounds have not yet been observed in the free atmosphere, and current atmospheric levels are expected to be small, of the order of part per trillion volume. All these concentrations, when viewed in isolation, their present contribution to the relative forcing of climate change is negligible in comparison with the current forcing of 1.7 watts per square meter due to CO2. Later, though, even though they admit they have no numbers on the production quality or quantity of these anesthetic agents, and that the three compounds have not yet been observed in the free atmosphere, they use some swag to make this claim. Hence, we conclude that global emissions of inhalation anesthetics, when measured by the 100-year GWP, have a contribution to the radiative forcing of climate change, which is comparable with that of the CO2 emissions. So here, they've done no tests at all, but in the end they tell you that it's actually comparable with that of the CO2 emissions from one coal power plant, or approximately 1 million passenger cars. That's the stuff they call science. Understand there are thousands of these lying bums living on incredibly large grants that will be on the street looking for jobs if all this falls through. And these are the incredible lies that they're coming out with. But it ties in. It ties in with you getting used to the idea that your medical systems are going to be very minimalistic in the coming future. Countries like Britain are already finding that out as they slash and burn down to the bone. Remember what the United Nations said a long time ago, that every country under its charter will have the right, everybody will have the right to the minimum, the bare minimum of health care. And it will be minimum indeed. And I guess we'll be back to putting a piece of rubber in your mouth or telling you to bite on a stick when they have to go in with a knife. Because that's where it seems to be going. Incredible, isn't it? So here they are, they haven't tested this stuff at all, and then later on they put a claim in that it's comparable with that of CO2 emissions from one coal-fired power plant, or approximately 1 million passenger cars. It says, gosh, more than a whole coal-fired power plant. Somebody tell China immediately so they can stop building 2 a week. See, under their treaties and the World Trade Organization, they don't have to bother about pollution at all. Neither will India, Brazil, and elsewhere that the money has been sunk into by those who own all the money of the world. So there you go.